Most people think steroids are the fastest way to destroy your body from the inside out. But there are 5 things that are completely legal, that most people do before noon every single day, that research shows age your body faster. Not slightly faster. Measurably, biologically, cellular level faster. And unlike steroids, nobody warned you about any of them. If you are over 40 and you feel like your body is aging faster than it should, like your energy is lower, your recovery is slower, and the fat is harder to shift than it used to be, I need you to stay with us for the next few minutes. Because the research is not pointing at your genetics. It is pointing at habits so common, so normalized, that you probably do not even think of them as habits anymore. Here is what makes this particularly frustrating. The conversation about aging almost always focuses on the things you cannot control. Your genes, your family history, the number on your last birthday. But the science of biological aging, the actual cellular mechanisms that determine how fast your body deteriorates, tells a completely different story. Your biological age is not fixed. It is not written in stone. It is being actively determined right now by the daily inputs your body receives. And a landmark study published in the journal Nature Medicine confirmed what longevity researchers have suspected for years. Lifestyle factors account for up to 80% of biological aging variance between individuals of the same chronological age, 80%. That means the gap between a 45-year-old with the biological age of 35 and a 45-year-old with the biological age of 60 is not genetics. It is daily habits. Here are the 5 that research consistently identifies as the most damaging and the most overlooked. Habit 1. Sleeping less than 7 hours. This is the most underestimated aging accelerator in modern life, and it is not even close. While you sleep, your body runs what researchers call cellular maintenance. DNA repair mechanisms activate. Growth hormone peaks, which is the primary driver of muscle preservation and fat metabolism. Inflammatory cytokines that accumulated during the day get cleared. Cortisol resets to baseline. Every one of these processes requires adequate sleep to complete. Cut sleep short, and they run partially, or not at all. A study published in Nature Aging found that consistent sleep under 7 hours accelerates epigenetic aging, the actual biological aging of your DNA, at a rate that no other single lifestyle variable matches. The researchers described it as the equivalent of adding years to your biological age per year of chronic short sleep, not months. Years. And here is the detail that makes this worse for adults over 40. Growth hormone production declines naturally with age. Chronic short sleep suppresses what little remains. The result is accelerated muscle loss, slower fat metabolism, and faster biological aging simultaneously, all from a habit most people consider a minor inconvenience rather than a health crisis. The research target is 7 to 9 hours. Not 6.5. Not I function fine on 6. 7 to 9. Habit 2. Eating seed oils daily. Vegetable oils like soybean, canola, sunflower, and corn are in almost everything processed. They appear in restaurant food, salad dressings, packaged snacks, most fast food, and in the majority of cooking oils sold in grocery stores. The research on what they do inside the body at the cellular level is damaging. Seed oils are extremely high in linoleic acid, an omega-6 polyunsaturated fat that oxidizes readily when heated. When these oxidized fats become part of cell membranes, they make those membranes more fragile and more susceptible to inflammatory damage. A study published in the British Medical Journal found that high linoleic acid consumption was consistently associated with elevated markers of systemic inflammation, the same inflammatory state that drives accelerated cellular aging, cardiovascular disease, and metabolic dysfunction. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the primary biological mechanisms of accelerated aging. Researchers call it inflammaging, and seed oil overconsumption is one of its most consistent dietary drivers. The swap is simple. Cook with butter, ghee, coconut oil, or extra virgin olive oil. Read ingredient labels on packaged foods. Avoid anything that lists soybean, canola, or vegetable oil as a primary ingredient. Habit 3. Sitting for more than 8 hours without moving. This one surprises people because it affects individuals who exercise regularly as much as those who do not. A study from the American Journal of Epidemiology followed over 120,000 adults for 14 years. Women who sat for more than 6 hours per day had a 37% higher mortality risk than those who sat for less than 3 hours. Men had an 18% higher risk. And critically, these numbers held true even after controlling for exercise habits. In other words, going to the gym in the morning does not undo 8 hours of sitting. The mechanism is in your muscle tissue. When large muscle groups, primarily the legs and glutes, are inactive for extended periods, an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase drops dramatically. This enzyme is responsible for pulling triglycerides out of your bloodstream and into muscle cells for fuel. When it drops, those triglycerides stay in circulation, driving up blood fat levels, increasing inflammatory markers, and accelerating vascular aging. The fix is not complicated. Stand up and move for 2 to 5 minutes every hour. A short walk to the kitchen. 10 body weight squats. A single flight of stairs. The movement does not need to be intense. It needs to be frequent enough to keep the enzyme system active throughout the day. Habit 4. Drinking alcohol regularly, even at moderate levels. This is the habit that generates the most pushback, because the moderate drinking is fine message has been in mainstream health culture for decades. The research has shifted significantly. A 2022 study published in Nature Communications used a direct measure of biological aging called epigenetic clocks, the same technology used in biological age testing, to assess the impact of alcohol consumption. The findings were clear. Even moderate alcohol consumption, defined as 1 to 2 drinks per day, was associated with measurable acceleration of biological aging markers. The mechanism involves 3 separate pathways simultaneously. Alcohol depletes NAD+, a coenzyme critical for DNA repair and cellular energy production that already declines with age. It elevates cortisol, which suppresses growth hormone during sleep. And it disrupts deep sleep architecture, compressing the slow-wave sleep phase where the majority of cellular repair occurs. 3 separate aging mechanisms activated by a single daily habit most people consider harmless. This is not about abstinence. It is about understanding the actual biological cost and making an informed decision, which most people have never been given the information to do. Habit 5. Eating ultra-processed food more than 3 times per week. Ultra-processed foods, meaning anything with more than 5 ingredients, artificial flavors, preservatives, or refined grains, do something to the body that goes beyond simple calorie impact. They accelerate telomere shortening. Telomeres are the protective caps on the ends of your DNA strands. They shorten naturally with each cell division, and their length is one of the most direct measures of biological aging available. The shorter your telomeres, the older your cells are functionally operating. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that high ultra-processed food consumption was independently associated with accelerated telomere shortening, even after controlling for total calorie intake, body weight, and physical activity. The mechanism is oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, both of which ultra-processed foods drive through their refined carbohydrate content, artificial additive load, and seed oil base. Every meal from a package is sending an aging signal to your DNA. The research threshold that consistently shows measurable impact is more than 3 ultra-processed meals per week. Below that, the body's repair mechanisms appear to compensate. Above it, the oxidative load begins to accumulate faster than it can be cleared. Here is the protocol: specific, simple, and sequenced by impact. Week 1. Fix your sleep first. Set a consistent sleep time and wake time, and hold it even on weekends. Darkness and temperature matter, The room should be fully dark and between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. This single change addresses the highest impact aging accelerator on the list, and it improves every other habit on it simultaneously. Because cortisol regulation, insulin sensitivity, and inflammatory clearance all depend on sleep quality. Week 2, audit your oils. Remove soybean, canola, sunflower, and corn oil from your kitchen. Replace them with butter, ghee, or extra virgin olive oil. Read labels on packaged foods, and avoid products that list vegetable or seed oil as a primary ingredient. This is a one-time purchase decision that removes a daily inflammatory input permanently. Week 3, set a movement alarm. Every 60 minutes during your sitting hours, stand up and move for at least 2 minutes. Use a phone alarm, a calendar reminder, or a fitness tracker vibration. The mechanism does not care how the reminder arrives. It cares that the movement happens. The alcohol and ultra-processed food targets are individual decisions that depend on your current baseline. The research threshold for measurable biological aging impact is daily alcohol consumption and more than 3 ultra-processed meals per week. If you are above either threshold, the data is clear on what reducing them does to your biological age markers over 90 days. There is a number that tells you whether these 5 habits have already affected your body and whether the changes you make over the next 90 days are actually working. It is your biological age score, and there is a video already on this channel where you can test it right now with 5 tests you can do at home in under 10 minutes. The link is in the description. Watch that video first if you have not already, because knowing your starting biological age number before you make these changes gives you a baseline to measure against. Drop in the comments which of these 5 habits surprised you most. The answers in this community are always eye-opening. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and X. Check the comments below for the latest diet and exercise tips and tricks. Visit the diet and exercise website linked in the comments below. We did our research for you, and we sorted items that are evidence-backed and lab-tested to get results. And remember, when it comes to diet and exercise, there are no gimmicks, just results.